Hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my Game of Thrones Legends mobile game content. Today I want to do another installment in the Deep Dive series. This is going to be the third one, and it's going to be on my girl RHAENYRA Targaryen. So I've been looking forward to doing this one. Kind of frustrated with it though, because this is the second time I've had to make this video. The first one was 36 minutes long and it didn't work for whatever reason. It was corrupted. Oh my gosh. Really test your resolve as a content creator, whether you want to actually sit here and do this all over again or not. But we're going to talk about RHAENYRA today because she definitely deserves a deep dive video because she's just really that good. RHAENYRA is what I like to call the Chaos Queen. She is the one that can really get some stuff moving on your board. She can cause a lot of cascades and a lot of chaos. So let's talk about her. One of the things that I love about her is her power to create random power-up gems. And I just want to show you something that one of my boys in my Discord, no offense, he showed me last night. He just got his RHAENYRA up to 5 stars. And he was like, wow, look at this. Look at what can happen when you get your RHAENYRA to 5 stars. Because at 5 stars, her power is increased on how many power-up gems she can make when an enemy is defeated. And you can see his board is just insane with the power-ups. So if you can't get something moving with that right there, then you got serious problems. You don't need to be playing this game because that's just insane right there. So yeah, let's get into it and let's talk about how to make that happen. She is a strategist, so she's one of the key people that you want to have in your party if you're interested in making a Targaryen build. A Targaryen build is usually looked at as a fire team. When people say I've got a fire team, they usually have it more than likely 3 to 4 to 5 members of the Targaryen faction. Because when you add more members of the Targaryen faction in your team, they do more fire damage based on a percentage, based on how many are in there. When you have at least 3, you do 40% more damage against your enemies. When you have 4, you do 50, and when you have 5, you do 60% more damage. That's awesome. So if you're looking to build a team that focuses around fire damage, you can't go wrong with a RHAENYRA. And RHAENYRA actually partners very well with another of the Targaryens, which is more than likely going to be a staple of your party anyway, is Daenerys. Daenerys's attack is a fire attack, and RHAENYRA stacks fire on them, and then Daenerys does more damage based on how many stacks of fire are on the enemies. So that can be really, really good in conjunction with each other. A lot of times when you're playing, you would want to make sure that you use RHAENYRA's power first before you use Daenerys, because her ability puts more fire stacks on the enemy, which allows Daenerys to do more damage. So it's smart to think about that. If you have Daenerys powered up and ready to go, and you see that RHAENYRA is powered up also, do her first. If you see that RHAENYRA is maybe 1 to 2 matches away from being powered up, maybe that's a situation where you decide to hold off a turn to use your Daenerys until you can get RHAENYRA off, because that will make Daenerys' damage a lot better. So she's definitely an excellent match to have in the party with Daenerys. One other thing that's really super cool about her and Daenerys being in a party together is that they are both strategists and they are both idealists. So what that means is when you're farming for gear for Daenerys or RHAENYRA, you're going to farm for the same type of gear. So that means that when you're in those chapters and there are 4 strategists and you're getting the drops for Daenerys, you're getting drops for RHAENYRA as well. You can see as of the latest update where they've increased the odds that gear that's in the game drops for you, you can see that I've got her fully kitted out on all of her epic subclass gear. That was a big thing for me because I was missing this piece right here on her and I couldn't get it anywhere. And after the update, I finally got it, and I got one for my Daenerys as well. So it's all looking rosy now as far as gear goes. I'm really thankful for that because now I'm going to be able to, once I get the ability to level her gear up, have her a lot more powerful. You can see right now that mine is only 3 stars. I would love to have her at 5 because that's when her power just gets ridiculous. But right now I'm 18 out of 70 on my 4th star, and I'm trying to get myself there. One of the cool things about Rhaenyra is that whenever they have the Dragon Egg event, they always usually offer a for sure token deal on her. These are super cool, especially if you can afford to buy them and you're going to be serious about playing the game, because this is not random. This is tokens that you know you're going to get. So it's kind of a guarantee type thing. In this game, a guarantee is hard to have because the randomness of this loot drops in this game is so brutal that you can pull 100 times and not get what you're trying to get. But this way, when you buy these offers, you can. And you see you have the ability usually always to buy 2 of them. So if you can throw out a hundo, you can have 50 shards of Rhaenyra, and then you also get 15 each of the Dragonstone tokens, and you can get 30 of those to do like 3 full pulls with, and possibly get some more out of the Dragonstone event, the summon event. Whenever the event goes live, the egg event, the Dragonstone summon always comes up. And you can see in this summon, you have the ability to get Alicent, Kristen, her ally, and Rhaenyra. At this stage, you can get those for a pretty decent percentage chance. I've gotten quite a few of her tokens for there. I think I've bought the offer a couple times. I would personally like to buy the offer right now, but I just don't have the money to spend on it, so I'm not going to do that more than likely. So yeah, I mean, that's just one of the cool things about her, though, that she always does have a guaranteed token offer, and that's kind of not all heroes have that. So if you like her, which you should because she's amazing, you should think about taking advantage of that. One of the things I wanted to talk about before we get into her powers is, well, actually, let's get into her powers first because we should talk about her powers before we talk about that. But her main skill is Ride to Battle and Glory. Unfortunately, it is a slow. It could be better, but it could be worse also. It could be a very slow. But it does go off 2 times a battle usually. If it's a longer battle, you can get it off 2 to 3 times a battle. And it just kind of depends on how good the match was for you on the yellow gems, on your board set, whether or not you can get it off a few times a battle or not. It's a damage. It does fire damage. It removes a buff, has a possibility of removing a buff. So that's really cool. At my level, at 3 stars, my Rhaenyra does 81% attack fire damage to all enemies. So it's an AoE attack, and that's super awesome because that's kind of my thing. I like to build teams with a lot of AoE because I like to burn stuff down fast as possible, and that's why I've chosen to go with a fire team because they do a lot of AoE type attacks, and it's really good. She has an 80% chance to inflict fire upon them as a 3 star. That will go up as you level up your stars. That has the percentage chance to go up. Fire is a type of damage that does damage over time, plus it will greatly increase damage with more stacks with other characters like Daenerys. She definitely takes advantage of this when Rhaenyra puts a fire stack on an enemy that causes Daenerys to do more damage. So that's very, very important. She has a 80% chance to inflict a fire, and that's not on all at once. That's individual rolls for each person. So, you could end up with 1, or you could end up with a stack on every enemy in the party. So it just depends on how good your rolls were on that one. At this level, she has a 50% chance to remove a buff from them. So if you fight a team that deals with a lot of buffs, This could be really cool because she could take that buff away. So that thing they worked so hard to give themselves, you could then turn around and take away with her. And when she does successfully do that, she has an 80% chance to inflict them with an additional 1 fire. Now, fire can stack up to 5 times per enemy opponent, which would give Daenerys some insane damage. So the most fire stacks you can get on your opponents is key. You really want that. Now at 4 stars, you can see that mine will upgrade 10% chance to remove the buff. So that will make that a 60% chance, which is even better. So we definitely like that. Now when we talk about her stats bonus, she gets at level 3 stars, I think, is when you unlock the 10% to defense. At 7 stars, you get the 10% to defense again. So that makes her even stronger. I want to talk about her leadership ability last, so I'm going to go ahead and go down to I Never Jest About Cake. One of the abilities, kind of a passive that she has on her, when she receives a buff, she has a 25% chance of triggering a power up. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of people will partner her with a Criston Cole, because Criston Cole, his allied gem with her, will cause a defense and attack buff on the strongest player. So if she was the strongest player, then this could pay off. But if she's not, then she won't receive that buff. So it may not work. But if you had somebody else in your party that could apply buffs to the members of your party, then that would definitely help her create more power-ups. And that's really critical to her strategy, because she can get stuff moving better than just about any hero I've seen in the game, because when you bust a power-up, you have the possibility of causing multiple cascades, which can then change the result of the battle immensely. We'll talk about that more here in just a minute. When she's at 4 stars, her chance of triggering a power-up increases to 50%, and then at 6 stars, she receives a buff. She will heal. When she receives a buff, she will heal for 5% of her max HP. So that could be big. I mean, that's 5% of max HP. So that means if she had 50,000 hit points, she would get 2,500 as a heal. And that's nothing to sneeze at, because your Rhaenyra is obviously going to probably have quite a bit of hit points once you get her gear leveled up as well. So the leadership ability, I just can't stop gushing about this one, because she has what I consider to be the best leadership ability in the game. She is always my leader. She always will be my leader until somebody comes up with a better leadership ability than this. I don't know why I would switch, because when an enemy is defeated, Rhaenyra creates 1 random power up. It's not a percent chance to do it, it's a will happen thing. And you'll see that as you play her, you will get a lot of power-ups, and those can be critical. I mean, those can be so key in many ways, because let's say you get a board that gets stale, and you don't really have a lot of good matches, or you have nothing but matches of color that you don't have. Then this power-up can really get some stuff moving. Because if she throws a bomb out there and you blow up some tiles, and now all of a sudden you've got a cascade, and the cascade goes on 3 or 4 times, which is very common. That can do a lot of damage to a lot of enemies, and that can get rid of a lot of enemies, and that can get some stuff moving really fast. Another reason why this power is so super awesome is because this basically makes her the queen of the events. In the Dragon Egg event and the Battle of the Bastards event, unfortunately, they do have strategy built into the event, like you match the eggs or you try to keep the bleeds off your characters type of thing. But honestly, the best strategy to get the highest scores is to just Hulk smash it and finish it as fast as possible. And with Rhaenyra putting power-ups out there that can blow up boards and give you many cascades, this can help end a battle a lot faster than it normally would if you just played it out with gem matches. And also with her buffing Daenerys's attack damage, then that can definitely help those battles go a lot quicker if Daenerys is in your party. So Yeah, she has, in my opinion, the best leadership ability in the game. The only one that I can really think of that even comes close is 1-1, has the ability to stealth his whole party, the whole battle. But that only happens when you get 1-1 up to like 6 or 7 stars, and who's going to be able to realistically do that? I mean, that's whale territory right there. So most of the average players are not even going to get to that point where they can do that. And Rhaenyra's skill is from day one. From 1 star, from the moment you unlock her, you can do this. So it's a really critical power, and it's the awesomest leadership power in the game, honestly. I'm really interested to see what they do with her if they create an older version of her, which I feel like they probably more than likely will, especially like around the time that they introduce Daemon to the game. I have a feeling they're going to add an older version of Rhaenyra in to partner with him in the summon and the introduction of those characters, because, I mean, they were the quintessential Targaryen couple. They were married. They were lovers. They were a Targaryen pair. They were the whole root of the lore in the HBO show. So that's one thing that I'm really interested to see how it plays out. And yeah, that's her leadership ability. So one of the other things that I want to talk about real quick is about her ally synergy. Her ally is with Kristen Cole, her personal escort. And if you watch the show The House of the Dragon, you've seen that in season 1, her and Kristen Cole had a relationship. Don't really want to spoil a lot of it, but it didn't go so well. And he ended up kind of flip-flopping there a little bit. But that is the ally synergy that she has with him. When he does his and her love and duty gem, when it's activated, it provides a 15% defense and 15% attack buff to the strongest ally for 3 turns. Now, if this was to Rhaenyra, that would be amazing, because then that would mean that she would create another power-up gem because she received a buff. But if you read the text on this, we'll see that the strongest ally is the champion with the most current HP. So that means that it's more than likely going to go to somebody else, unless you have your Rhaenyra really leveled and her gear really leveled to max. Then she might be the one with the most hit points, but more than likely not, it's going to go to a Ned, or it's going to go to somebody else that has more hit points than her. So unfortunately, that's the way that's worded. Maybe they'll change that in the future to where it applies to Rhaenyra. That would be better, because he is her ally, so I don't really understand why it couldn't really. Why does it have to be like that? I don't know. But as you can see, she's fully kitted out on her gear. My 3-star version of her is. And you can see that I did the weapon first because that's the most crucial piece. It gives you the bonus to all 3 stats, and no other equipment slot item does that. So always maximize your weapon first. I have another video that talks about the criticalness of that and why you should think about that when leveling your equipment. I think you should always strive to max out all your equipment, because, I mean, it's just an addition to your character's stats. Why wouldn't you want that? I'm a type of person that I want every stat bonus I can get, so I'm eventually going to, like my Daenerys or my Ned, I'm going to have all that gear maxed, because you got to do something with the food you're getting, so you might as well put it towards leveling gear. And if you're smart, you're keeping up with your farmer leveling, so that when you get your resources coming in, you're getting a good amount. You can see my farmers are all 18 and 17. I have a fortress going up to level 19 right now, so I'm keeping up with it because I want that food to be able to, level up my gear and level up my people. So right now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into a battle, and let's grab a battle that I'm actually needing some good gear for. Protector is one of the ones that I'm actually needing some gear for still. So I'm going to look at Hard and Treacherous and try to find an epic chest, and I got one in hard. So I'm going to go ahead and bust into a battle with her and do some gameplay so that you can actually see her ability in action. So let's do that together. So right now you can see I've got a pretty decent board set with the yellow at the start. I've got at least one match right off the bat. So I want to try to get her going. So yellow is usually a priority for me when I'm starting the battle. I'll look for yellow or red or purple usually right off the bat, because obviously yellow would power up 2 characters for me. So I would get 2 AoEs, but yellow would also allow me to have some additional fire stacks added to where I could get my Daenerys powered up fast as possible. So that's always something I'm looking to do. Okay, right there, she had an enemy die, and we created a power-up gem. So that happened. So that was really cool. In this situation, let's see what we can do here. Okay, good. I got a yellow cascade match right there. So, as I was talking earlier, this is a situation to where you've got Daenerys and Rhaenyra powered up at the same time. You wouldn't want to use your Daenerys first and then your Rhaenyra, because Rhaenyra adds fire stacks to the enemy. So let's use Rhaenyra. She's going to do her AoE, and she's going to hopefully put some fire stacks on these enemies. There you go. You see that we got a fire stack on every single one. So what's that going to do? That's going to mean that when Daenerys does her attack damage, she's going to do a bonus 54% attack fire damage for each fire they have. So right now she's going to do an extra 54% damage to all 3 of those, because they all have fire stacks thanks to Rhaenyra. When we kill these enemies, we're going to see that, boom, Rhaenyra's power triggered, and she created that yellow bomb right in the middle of the screen. This is why her power is so key. She also created that red power up in the bottom right of the screen. This is why her power is so key, because let's just say that my board got stale at this moment and I didn't really have a lot of matches. I do actually have some matches on there that I would probably take first before I did the power up, but for just sake of instruction, let's say that my board got stale right there, and now I've got a power up that can get some things moving. So let's use it and let's see what happens. All right, I got a yellow cascade out of that because I used that power up, plus I destroyed some blue gems, some purple gems, and I leveled up 2 other characters, or I leveled up their stamina bar on 2 other characters. So you can see why that power up was just so good. It got me some stuff going. Now, her ability right there caused that blue power up to appear on the board. So it just keeps on going. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Her power is. So I think it's something that you really ought to think about when you're thinking about putting Rhaenyra in your party. Yeah, she can be a big deal. She can really be a big deal. She can help you get a lot of stuff going. She can help you finish events a lot faster. And there you go. You see that she created a random love and ally, or what's it called? Their gem. Their gem is called, let's see if I can pull it up. No, I don't see it. Well, anyway, their gem is called something. I don't remember. But that blows up the column, and it blows up other gems in the column as well, so it helps fill up your other players, plus it does damage to the one that was on top of it. So that was super cool right there. Okay, so I've got them both again. So I'm going to do Rhaenyra first to add fire stacks to the fire stacks that we already have. And then I'm going to do my Daenerys, and that's going to clear them out probably. Boom. And you can see the battle went a lot quicker than it normally would just because of her abilities. So I think that's enough to actually really show you the gameplay of her ability. I think you get it. Her leadership ability is just so clutch. It can create opportunities that you did not have before. In this game and in many other matching games that I've played in the past, I have had the ability to have characters that had the ability to create their color gems on the board, and those are super awesome because then that can cause you to have lots of matches. This game doesn't have any of that. So the ability to have somebody that can create random power-ups that can then be destroyed and cause the board to cycle is really, really good. If you can't create your color gems, then this is the next best thing that you want to do in game, is get that board moving. So I appreciate you watching my content, and I hope you enjoyed this deep dive. Not really sure who I'm going to do next. More than likely will be somebody like Ned, or possibly somebody like Samuel, or not really sure who I'm going to do next. I'm going to think about it a little bit and pick a good one. I think I'm going to continue on with doing legendaries though, and I'll focus on some epics later, but legendaries are where it's at. So that's where I'm going to focus my effort for the first, 6, 7, 8 of these videos. So I appreciate you watching, and I just wanted to tell you that if you're interested in joining a community that loves to talk about the game and loves to interact with each other about the game, look in the description of my video for a link to my Discord. We always have something crazy going on at the Discord. That Discord has grown exponentially. I think I've got over 400 members on that Discord right now, and I'm just blown away with the way that this community has grown. And it's obvious that we needed that, because the developers of the game didn't put an in-game global chat in the game, so we have no way to interact in-game. They don't have their own official Discord, so there's nowhere to go to really talk about it. So we had to create our own community, and that worked really well. And I'm really proud of my Discord community. I wanted to give a shout out to them and tell them how awesome they are, and thank you for being there. So if you're interested in that, look in the description for the link and join up. We'd love to have you. If you like this content, maybe support my efforts to bring this content to you by thinking about subscribing or liking the video. Share it around to your friends so we can get it out there in the community and help people learn more about the game and interact together and grow, be better players. Because that's the reason why I'm doing it. I want to support the community, and this is my real only way to do that, because the game limits how we can communicate. So got to do something to get it out there. And if you want to support my efforts to do that, then think about subscribing or comment on the video. Leave your thoughts. I would love to interact with you. So I'll talk at you later. I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much for watching my content. See ya.